Alright. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Bait versus PuckChamp for the Dota 2 Champions League 2021. It's now a 1 apiece, down to a best of 1. Obviously, this is still just group stages, all for points, but Bait desperately need a win here, I think. They need to start securing some points for themselves because they are lacking behind PuckChamp. And they're doing pretty good, but obviously, more points is always feels a little bit better. But removing the Beastmaster as well as the Omni Knight, yeah, it's pretty much what they've been doing in all the other previous games. And Bait removing the Lina and the Pangolier, which I think, yep, is exactly the same as all the other games as well. So just repeating the bans. PuckChamp immediately grabbing the Cottle. Seems like it wasn't banned this time round. Actually, yeah, because I think PuckChamp banned the Cottle in the previous game rather than the Omni Knight. So instead it gets through, immediately gets snapped up from themselves. And I imagine even if it's position 4, we'll probably see this man farm up eventually to be a core because it's broken. It's just broken at the moment. Really ridiculous. We'll see what Bait's going to respond with now because obviously they've got the double picks. They can guarantee some sort of hero pairing, wherever it is they want to go for. I don't even know if they've really been doing any like fixed safe lane pairings or anything like that. In the previous games, I think they grabbed like a Night Stalker Shadow Demon combo in the first game, which didn't end up working out too well. But instead, once again, going to first pick the Shadow Demon. We'll see if they're going to bother. I think last time they picked their second support to go with it. Maybe they might mix it up now, rather than just rinse repeating the same as all the previous games. I mean, they do seem to like playing Night Stalker a lot. Like, normally if they don't get it, it gets banned out. So maybe they could just pick that up yet again for the off lane. Oh yeah, okay, they go for it. Night Stalker is always so strong. Just jump on top of whoever you do not want to cast stuff and then stick on top of them like a fly on shit. Like 7 seconds worth of silence is absolutely brutal to play up against sometimes. Especially depending on certain heroes as well. They just get dicked on really badly from it. Like, I suppose if you could keep on top of the Cottle, that'd be pretty nice. Just heavily reduce his effectiveness in the fights. But immediately, the Sven does get taken up yet again. It's been played all 3 games now. Whoever has the Sven has won. So, in that theory, PuckChamp already off to a highly more statistical chance of winning this one. And then they're just going to, yet again, ban out all the standard counters to a Sven pickup. So, the Slark gets taken out. And what are Bait going to prioritize in this next phase? Maybe they might like focus on towards the similar heroes that PuckChamp played in game number 1. So they might ban out the Void Spirit, unless of course they want to play that again. Which they do, because the Void Spirit was position 3 in the last game, and they've already got the Night Stalker. So they probably would decide to ban it out. So I can see that coming any second now, once they get the next one available. And what's going to be the next main core to ban out here from PuckChamp? And obviously, as I said before, PA has always been like a standard counter to a Sven, but she's so far off the meta right now that no one has to really bother about her. Just never seen the light of day for a long time. So take rid of the Life Stealer instead. I'd like to see this one of those heroes which can sort of stand toe-to-toe against a Sven. It is quite difficult, because obviously normally he can out-DPS the life that you can steal away. I think so, they'll ban it out. I wonder if they'll decide to ban out the Medusa as well. That is a hero which they picked up, obviously, to try and counteract the Sven in the previous game. It didn't work out, but in theory, Medusa is a relatively strong hero against the Sven, as long as if she actually has a bit of backline support from the rest of the team to stop her from just getting melted in just a second. Is that going to be the ban? Is it? Yeah. They did snap ban it. So I'll give me a little bit more thought than that. Maybe they might ban one of Dendy's heroes instead, rather than just purely focusing towards Watson. I mean, he played Luna in game number 1. It did not work out. But I don't know if it was... I mean, yeah, if you go for the Luna as well, then you're pretty much repeating exactly the same lineup as you had in that first game, which obviously did not pan out too well for him. But he might decide to give it another go. It's always strong with a Shadow Demon. Just the extra illusions is to help ramp up the DPS quite considerably. That's actually the Faceless Void takeout there. Okay. Quite interesting. Not a hero that we've actually seen banned or picked up so far this season. It was actually grabbed a fair amount in the last series I cast. But not seen as of yet in this guide. And they do decide to go for the Undying. So that's probably going to be for Gatsy on the position 5. I mean, there's a possibility they could run it as a 4 to lane up against the Sven and just try and deck on him that way. Obviously, as we all know, Undying always strong against melee strength heroes. Just puts the decay stacks to good use. So maybe now PuckChamp, after seeing this Undying pickup, they could try and swap around their off lane so they don't have a melee core. Melee strength core, I should say. You can have other sort of melee cores, but the strength is the really key part, because not only do you lose HP, but you also lose damage in that particular situation. So maybe they might try and go for something else in that regard. They could go for the Void Spirit themselves in the offlane. I know they decided to go for the Phoenix instead, which is a range strength hero. So not as bad, but still not ideal when playing up against an Undying, really. I mean, with the Fire Spirits, you just drop his attack speed to absolutely nothing. So he can't even really get any decent hits off you, despite how many decay stacks he may have. They're actually going to grab the Mars. Okay, so even though they're playing up against an Undying, they've picked 2 strength heroes to play up against him. It's interesting. It's an interesting decision, I'm not going to lie. But I'm sure they've thought about it. I'm sure they've got a big game plan. They're like, we don't even care about this Undying. We're just going to do our own thing. You know, forget he's there. Because a Phoenix Mars combo has been strong since these 2 heroes were out at the same time, obviously, when the Mars came out. Because obviously the Phoenix 6 gets dropped. If it looks like it's in peril or it could end up dropping down, the Mars just drops the arena to either protect it and drop all the ranged projectiles, or in the same respect, if anyone on the side of the of bait is trying to disengage, Mars will just drop his arena and stop him from retreating, force him to get hit by the supernova explosion, and just further dick him over. So it's always a strong combo. I haven't actually seen it for a fair amount of time. PuckChamp going back to basics on it. So what is Bait going to pick up now? Probably be their position 1 for Watson. So you want something they can play up against the Mars Phoenix in the lane with an Undying. And they are going to go for the PL. Okay. So I mean, he might be able to avoid like a spear coming at him if he gets the doppelganger off in the nick of time. Similar sort of situation with avoiding the fire spirits. If that is the thinking, would be able to pick up this hero. They're also not too bad at playing up against the Sven. Like, you quickly burn away all of his mana, so you can't just constantly chuck the stuns around. But at the same respect, the Sven, if he's got enough damage, he just makes quick work of all the illusions from the PL, and you're always easily able to find the real one. Unless, of course, the PL was just that much further ahead than the Sven, and he can't really contest him in that regard. It depends how the lane's going to go after that, then. The PuckChamp banning out the Puck, and the Viper and B8 take away the Ember. I imagine they'll probably take away the Storm Spirit as well, which I think is what they banned out previously, and they had this sort of combo set up. But it is just both the mid laners left. And there's still the Queen of the Pain in the pool, which Dendi obviously picked game number 1. It is a hero he likes to roll with. He's didn't really have that much success after the laning phase. But even still, it's a hero he does like. Last 3 bans of bait, all of the spirits. Well, it's just the Earth Spirit that's left. But I don't see that hero popping up somehow. Unless that is something that Young G or Dendi plays. It would surprise me a lot if they did. I mean, but also Bait do have the counter pick after they see what PuckChamp are going to grab. So Dendi is going to have the slight advantage in that regard. And what is he going to go for though? PuckChamp giving it a lot of thought. And there is there's still an Invoker in the pool. PuckChamp have grabbed it before so far this patch and did win with it. And the Invoker, pretty good setup to like the stun control coming out from the rest of the heroes. They actually go for the Queen of Pain themselves. Alright, that's interesting. I think they got to be careful though, because the Sonic Wave does actually push people out of Mars Arena. So they're going to have to be very careful how they use those skills. They can just screw themselves over. But on the flip side, he can actually push them into the arena from the outside in the same sort of respect. So maybe that's what they're thinking. I'm not sure how Keeper the Blinding Light works with that. Does that do the same thing and like push through the arena, or will it just push people into the wall of the arena? Because I think it works similar to Force Staff, where if you try to use Force Staff out of the arena, you just whack into the side and immediately fly backwards. Not too sure. Here's 30 seconds left for Bait to think about what they're going to go for, and Dendi, he's going to actually take the Invoker himself. I thought these two picks would be the opposite way around, but hey, what do I know? So now we're going to get to see a bit of Dendi Invoker. This will be interesting to see. I don't think I've ever seen him play Invoker before. I know he's definitely played it, but I don't think I've actually spectated a game where he's done it himself. So I don't know what sort of level of prowess he is on this hero. We're going to find out either way. But, I mean, considering how the first two games went, he wins his lane, and he still has absolutely nothing after the laning phase ends. Like, he gets some kills, he gets loads of CS, and then all of a sudden, he's bottom net worth of all the cores. I don't know how it works. It's happened twice in a row now. So we'll see if it's going to happen again. But, I mean, looking at these lineups, PuckChamp definitely have some incredible team fight. Arena, Egg, into the Sonic Wave. They could maybe even go for the Disco Ball onto Astral. Depends if he wants to go for like the crazy Dagon build. And then whilst all that's going on, you just got Sven running around whacking people, which is obviously very painful. And side of Bait, they don't actually have any teamfight ultimate abilities to work around. Like, they've got Tombstone and a couple of the spells that Dendi can chuck out on the Invoker, like the Tornado, the Meatball, all this sort of stuff. But nowhere near up to the caliber that PuckChamp can actually pump out themselves. And the fact that they got the Sven. Like, I think I'm going with PuckChamp this game. I think they got it. I could be wrong. Anyway, here we are for game number 3, the third and final one between Bait and PuckChamp for the Dota 2 Champions League 2021. We'll see who's about to come out on top. Looks like Bait once again just heading as a 4-man unit towards the mid. Meanwhile, PuckChamp are actually moving down towards the bot with this smoke. This isn't a move they've done out before. They could actually end up running into Gatsy, as it looks like he wants to get a observable deep down in this bottom lane. Well, they move away just as he was actually coming down here.
I hate
funny, they have absolutely no idea how close they were to the Undying at that point, and they could have netted that kill if they just moved down a little bit. But instead, Gadsy able just to freely put down his ward, return back to lane, do his own thing. You might have to be careful. If he tries to like walking through the jungle to link up with the rest of his team, he's going to bump into a lot of the members of PuckChamp. Actually, no, there's only 20 seconds left before the game actually starts, so that's not likely to happen. So at least this time, PuckChamp did actually attempt to go for some sort of first blood play, but no one actually ends up walking into him at that point. He did get some very deep vision down, though. So they got a huge amount of info that they can work with down in this, like, bottom part of the map. They can see mostly where the mid laner will go, and if any, like, stacks get, any creeps start getting stacked up or such, or if anyone was low HP farming them. They've got the potential to work around that vision quite a lot. Wow, Astral actually predicting where that observer ward would be. I guess he's probably just like watched the replay where Gatsy places those wards. Very well read. Oh, Gatsy's mad about that one. So we'll see how this mid lane goes with Dendi versus Young G. Obviously 2 for 2 at the moment, but it is just early days. We'll see how Young G is going to play the hero. He's actually going for a lot of points into the Shadow Strike. When Dendi played the hero, he just went and maxed out the Screamer Pain himself instead. Only put 1 point into the Shadow Strike. But obviously that was because he was playing up against the Void Spirit. So if he tries to just spam out the dagger, then they would easily be able to just use the Dissimulate and just evade the attack altogether. So that makes sense of going for the standard Q build this time on the Queen. The Illuminate span begins already. Watson and Katsy both down to half HP. Just from this one stupid goddamn ability. Just every time keeps clipping him. Sure, it pushes in the way, but who cares? The harass damage is just too damn strong. Really annoying to deal with. Melez takes a bit of damage here. He's going to try and juke himself into the trees. Oh, but the doppelganger cuts off his escape. He's blocked off. The Illuminate's going to completely miss as well. Melez, he wants to die into the tower if he can, so the first blood bonus doesn't get given away. What? Okay, no, Melez. He does get found. The Illuminate does a lot of damage as well as the rebuke backwards, but it doesn't matter. First blood found by Watson as well. It's a very nice pickup there for Bait in the safe lane. But now they've both got hardly any regen left. And Gatsy's probably going to use this salve now onto Watson to get him up to a healthy standing. Why has he got his magic wand in the back pocket? Oh, wait, because he was getting salved, of course. Ramps up his efficiency with that 3 less strength.
I hate life.
Actually, so far in the mid, looks like Young G starting to pull ahead now. 14-1 to Dendi's 8-1. And was he actually going loads of points into Shadow Strike? Oh no, he's actually just left it one on himself. Still going for the Screen of Pain max. Gatsy just denying himself off to the tower. Just so he could go back to base, get the HP regen, free mana. Come back into lane and actually be effective rather than just potentially giving away a free kill. Oh, in the mid. Young G, very low. But Dendi, nothing left in the tank to try and go for some sort of further aggressive play. Young G's bottle, though, is completely empty. He can go fill up on his Bounty Rune if he needs to, but if he does that, he'll probably miss out on nearly an entire wave of creep, so it's just not worth it at this point. Probably might go after he grabs the 4-minute Water Rune at the bot, if that is going to be his decision. Gatsy just running after Astral non-stop. Forcing Gandalf away from the lane. I think in a 1v1, Watson does actually... The PL does end up beating a Mars. I mean, not like beaten, but not really hindered at all from the Mars in the lane. As he just starts spamming all of his spells like a gun, which he could do. Obviously, that is the advantage of having a Kotl as your support. Just the chakra spam can really make it so much easier just to harass out the enemy carry. Tombstone even gets dropped here just to try and allow Bait to control up this little stack of creeps. Now's Watson to even get the kits onto the creeps as well, furthering his own farm in progress. All 3 cores on the side of PuckChamp at the top of that CS jar at the moment. Not like it's a massive lead. They're all pretty damn close to each other. It's just really the Night Stalker that's falling behind. Dendi just 5 behind Young G at the moment. Transmuting to net worth. About 200 gold. I wonder if Dandy's going to go for like the standard Hand of Midas build, which pretty much all invokers end up doing, because you just want experience, and the Hand of Midas is always able to ramp that up for you a little bit. I mean, he's got his brown boots now, so I assume that probably is going to be the build. Wouldn't see why I changed it up at all. I'm about to get whacked by another Illuminate. Whack. It's just so much damage, man. At least that's the nice thing about the Undying. That Soul Rip heals him up quite nicely. But even still, just the spam for the Illuminate is just too much to deal with. Is the build even... Do you even put anything on Solar Bind? I don't think you do. At the early parts of the game, it's kind of like a useless skill in most lanes. Unless there's like some lane that just really, really works with it, but off the top of my head, I can't think of one at all. National, yeah, he's just constantly keeping the stacks flowing as well. Now a triple on the creeps as well as double on the ancients. Try to go for an EMP play there onto Young G as well, but obviously it's kind of difficult when you're playing against a hero which has a blink mechanic. You have to like time it to perfection with the Tornado, Cold Snap, and EMP. The only way to make it land. Then of course that costs a hell of a lot of mana. It's like 350 mana to get rid of 250 mana. So it doesn't really end up working out into your favor. So how is this top lane going? Crit, third in the net worth for the moment, second in terms of CS. Still, the Night Stalker is falling behind a little bit. I mean, now it is night time. He should start to have a little bit of a better lane. Only got 2 points into the Darkness Aura, though. They're actually going to try and make a move here onto Crit. He's got 3 stacks of poison onto him now. Even Dendy's made the rotation here to help out. Crit, 4 stacks of poison. That's all they need. He goes down. So I'm not even sure if Dendy even needed to rotate there. He even just drops the crit.
You understand?
So Dendy's been getting tipped a hell of a lot this series so far. So he's going to take any opportunity to get a return tip if he can. But yeah, I don't even think he was really needed with that whole gank, in my opinion. And he's really started to fall behind in CS in terms of against Young G. Look at that, 37 to 61. Over 700 gold now, 7 minutes in. That's quite a large margin. I mean, Young G has got to run back to base now, but even still, he's not going to feel the effects of that too badly. I mean, he's got 1,200 gold in his pocket. Yeah, okay, he does just finish up his power treads. I wasn't sure if he'd try and go for like a big Orchid rush or not. Or if he's even going to bother building an Orchid at all this game. I think some queens go for like a... was it a maid... Witchbane? What's it called? I can't remember what the hell the... Where is it? Witchblade, that was it. I was saying Witchbane, but that's a neutral item now, isn't it? And it looks like Watson is sort of done with this lane. He's going to go and farm up these stacks if he can. He waits out for the stomp to come out. He needs to get really lucky with these illusion spawns. Second stomp. It'll take a little bit of time, but he should eventually be able to do this relatively effectively. Just use all them illusions to tank it up for him. It's kind of weird, like the Satyr leaders, whatever the hell they're called, Satyr Tormentors, are like the only neutral creeps to not use their ability when there's like a cluster of heroes. I think he should, to be honest. It would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I feel like that's a change they should implement at some point. A lot of members of bait. No idea that they're just inches away from Young G at the moment. They're going to make an aggressive move into the triangle, but nobody's there. They're right behind them in their own jungle. But they are none the wiser at all. They do get the spot onto these massive stacks, though. They're even going to drop the tombstones to try and go for the ancients here. SA's going to start stacking up the Shadow Poison, whilst Dendy and the Night Stalker are trying to get the kills onto normal creeps. Actually, the Reader gets dropped there from Melis off to the side. Focusing on Tagachi, but the disruption disjoint is there. And it's going to allow the Undying to try and disengage. Actually, Young G jumping forwards. This will be enough damage to get the kill. eventually tried, I think, getting himself killed towards the Ancients. But he couldn't find it. I'm not sure who got majority of these smaller creeps. Looked like a fair amount of them did get cleaned up. And Melez is hitting onto him, but Crit will come in just to get the finish. So you don't need to be here anymore, Melez. Stop stealing the farm, man. Stealing the XP. He needs it. Now, quite a few heroes from Bait coming up towards the top. Even Dendi rotating up here himself. So I guess they just really want to take this tier 1 tower, but even the Alacti gets used, starting things off with the Cold Snap onto Ducalis. He does have the dive, but he's holding on to it. Doing a good bit of discipline. Monte comes out. He does now have the egg to drop if he needs to. Meanwhile, though, the rest of PuckChamp was able to take down the tier 1 tower and find SA hiding himself in the trees. Looks like PuckChamp will probably be able to keep their own tower alive. 4 heroes from Bait now up in the area. Gatsu even dropped with the tombstone. I'm going to try and focus onto it. The immediate charge forwards. The silence is going to be there. There's absolutely no escape for Young G. The egg gets dropped off to the side, but it's not going to be able to get a connection onto anyone. The arena even misses. 2 of the big ultimates here from PuckChamp completely whiffed. And now Mele's probably in a spot of trouble here himself, trying to get himself away. Jesus Christ, that Illuminate hits onto Dendi. Does a lot of damage. And I don't think they can actually get the grab onto anybody else. Dendi's got to be careful. Like, Melez could just literally rebuke and spear behind him, and he would just kill Dendi. He doesn't obviously know it, but he would. Watson wants to try and do some damage onto this tier 1, but now Astral's here. The Illuminate spam is going to be easily able to push him off that tower every single time. So after all that, it is only Young G that ends up dying. But, I mean, that is your mid dying as well as your 2 team ultimates get used for absolutely nothing. So they all whiff. It would have been fantastic. Say, like, the egg got dropped, and then Melez went up and got the arena grab onto 3 of them, stopped them from retreating away from the egg. And talking about retreating, Ducalis trying to, but not going to work. So they do manage to pick off the Phoenix. Dendi's still hanging around in this area. Yet again, look! How does this keep happening? He's 0-0-3. He's not died. He needs the bottom net worth of all the cores again. I don't understand how this keeps happening. He does spend a lot of time away from the mids trying to assist his other lanes, but he just screws his own game over in the process doing it again and again. I mean, it's a very sort of selfless way of playing. They're going to try and go for the kill onto Young G, but again, it's just too hard getting that EMP combo onto a Queen of Pain. Even SA was trying to steal away the creeps from Dendi with the Shadow Poisons. I think it's because Dendi just plays his game very selflessly. He doesn't really care how his like own games progresses. He just wants to make action happen across the map. I mean, look at this. He went for normal phase boots. That's an item you like never see on Invokers. They normally always just save up for the bots themselves. They would always go in for like the Hand of Midas eventually. I mean, he's only barely got more experience than the opposition position for Ducalis. I tried to go for the dive away, but not going to work when you got Cold Snap on you. He's just, any opportunity Dendi gets to tip someone now, he's going for it. No matter what happens. But even still, I mean, because of this selfless play, again, they're 4,000 gold behind at 14 minutes into the game. And they actually have more kills. Ooh, the little use of the Tumbler's Toy to allow Young G to get the grab onto the room, but it doesn't matter, the silence is there, as well as the Sunshine gets the finish. Dendi perfectly aimed. So Young G ends up dying yet again. No tip that time, though. And the Night Stalker still charging forward. He's on top of Ducalis. Oh, he got the stun onto him mid-dive. Ducalis looked like he didn't even move. The neutrals! The neutrals killed him. Oh, Dendi probably feels well. He feels a bit weird about that tip now. Even the Night Stalker walked away because he wanted Dendi to get the last hit, but they couldn't even find it. And even with 5 versus 3, Bait just did not feel comfortable trying to commit for this tier 1. They all fall back. And PuckChamp able to reinforce the area. They've got all their almost to use. And Melee's charge voice got this blink. He's going to find the perfect initiation here. The arena gets dropped, trapping in Dende and SA. Although there is the flash calling the tombstone off to the backlines, but it doesn't matter. Dende just gets deleted. SA quickly falls as well. And now this is going to be a tombstone that just gets fed over. As well as a stack onto the Ancients there. But Young G, not interested in Ancients. Still just going to carry on trying to taste down Gatsy. And he is going to find it. Actually, never mind. Melez will. Steals it away. And just like that, a few kills for PuckChamp and just further cementing their lead right now. 5,000 gold at 15.5 minutes in. And it's only a 6-for-6 scoreline. I mean, Watson's not doing too badly on the farm. He's about 900 gold behind the Sven. I mean, he's got his Diffusal, got his Yasha. About 1,500 gold away from having his full-on S and Y completed. And then Crit. Going to have his own BKB finished up soon. Decided not to dismantle the Echo Saber to make the BKB finish up faster. Wanted to keep the eye on. Obviously, I suppose it makes sense. The early parts of the game, Sven always suffers quite a lot with his attack speed. So any sort of way to let you pump out attacks just a little bit faster is always going to be quite worthwhile. Well, Bait trying to go for another tier 1 push here. Every member of, well, 3 members of PuckChamp are in the area to try and defend this. They got the egg, they got the arena. Actually, jump off the side from Melez. Oh, they push off the side. The dot does actually get the finish there. So SA ends up dropping yet again. And just that alone is going to be enough to force Bait to fall back. Couldn't get the tower kill again, and it's still even relatively healthy. Got a third of its HP left. They're going to go for a 4-man smoke play themselves. The smoke gets broken though. Gatsy hiding onto this little top of the cliff here. They pop the dust thinking someone's invisible. They're like, what the hell? Where were they? I think it was the blinding light for Astral pushed him up there. So very nicely positioned there from Gatsa. Oh, another sneeze. I actually remembered to mute myself that time, so I don't just obliterate everyone's ears with my obnoxiously loud sneezes. BKB up in about 1,000 gold for the Night Stalker. Definitely helping from staying on top of the supports for sure. And Dendy's almost got his Spirit Vessel online, another 100 gold. And it's not like there's any like super strong hero that works against this game. I mean, obviously you see some Invokers buy an Urn of Shadows because it works really well with the Cold Snap. So I suppose if that's the plays he's actually going for, it just makes sense to finish off into a Spirit Vessel. But it always just feels nicer when you're playing up against a hero like a Morphlin or something like that, where it just really helps secure those kills a little bit better, reducing the HP regen. Looks like SA might be in a spot of bother again. He's hiding himself in the trees. Astral though, just charge avoids. He knows exactly where he's hiding. Oh my god! All 5 heroes from every single angle. Not a hope in hell of surviving that one. Oh, meanwhile though, Bait, they're going to try and go for the counterplay. Jumping onto Melee's underneath the tilt tower, but he drops down the arena. It only actually traps in Gatsy. Dendy wasn't even in close enough. And the eggs could have popped. This is going to be a dead on dying for sure. But that was a lot of almost getting committed just to find that kill. Then he steps forward way too far. He gets picked off. Young G just commits the Sonic Wave to get the finish, even losing the Tombstone. Just more gold flowing into the pockets of PuckChamp. And there is the Night Stalker as well as the PL just off to the side there. Looks like PuckChamp though, they're probably going to commit to go for this tier 2. They've still got about quarter the duration of the gold strength left. And the creep wave is here. Actually, they're not going to bother. They all just decide to fall back. They might try and go for this kill into the Night Stalker now. Young G's ready to jump forwards as well as Ducalis. Lean up with the silence there within the Orchid. But not really wanting to commit too hard for that kill. Maybe if they had the Sven or the Mars, they might have been able to get that kill actually having a stun, but not a duff just with those 3. Watson once again trying to secure this tier 1. PuckChamp really making it work for it though. Actually, no, good job for us. Dendy's found the grab potentially onto Takala. The stun comes in for the side for crit, holds him back. Young G, though, stuck in the sides, is going to wear off. It's going to allow him to get us out there. What's a Jesus Christ? The cleave damage from crit does so much work. And now the Night Stalker's trying to get out there. Disruption from SA actually manages to make a bit of a gap. And it's going to allow him to disengage. The Tombstone on the high ground, though. It's just going to be more gold going over towards Young G. I wish I had those like plugins that a lot of the tournaments have, which shows like amount of gold given away from Tombstone deaths, illusion deaths, that sort of thing. Really useful information to have. But now it looks like this tier 2 is going to fall at the bot. Glyph still on cooldown for another 3 minutes. And it doesn't look like there's going to be anything that Bait could do really to stop that. But just like they've done in the previous game, they're going to use their sacrifice of their tier 2 to good use. And going to try and take down this Roshan if they can. I mean, that tier 2's dropped pretty damn quickly. There's no information for the side of PuckChamp this is going on. They do draw it on the map. That's probably where Bait are hiding out. The Roast now down to half HP. And it looks like they're actually going to be able to get it uncontested. This isn't even the fastest roast in the world, so if PuckChamp did actually respond, they probably could have stopped this from happening. But still, they'll gladly take that. Even Watson got his Heart of Taras queued up next. Definitely going to increase his survivability in these fights. But even still, despite getting that kill, there's still 9k in the hole. And every single ultimate on the side of PuckChamp is ready to use, apart from the Cottle's ultimate, but who really cares about that? Nobody. Basu. Actually, to go for a smoke plate, despite the fact they go up against Rose. The smoke actually breaks there for crit, who blinks up to the high ground, but there's nobody here. Gatsy with the big plays. Okay, finally it does get revealed. He's trying to go for the TP out. It's not going to happen. And Watson actually getting re-involved here. He's going to force the egg to get committed. They think it's the illusion, but it's not. He's already backed out. All right. Okay, some really nice plays there coming out from Bait. Gatsy obviously loses his life, but he breaks the smoke. He forces the God Strength out from the Sven. And then Watson just poking himself in there, forces the egg usage from the Phoenix, and he doesn't even die for that himself. It's not like they're going to gain any like goal advantage from making those plays, but it's definitely going to make PuckChamp stand a little bit more uneasy. Maybe they could try and go for some sort of counterplay now themselves. So they've got Aegis, they know God Strength's on cooldown, they know Egg's on cooldown. If there was ever a time that they could try and make something happen, it would be now. And they are actually all gathering up here. I think Watson needs some mana, though. Anyone got any tangos or clarities? No? Okay. So they're going to try and go into this with Watson only having 300 mana. It's going off like a couple of Spirit Lances and some Doppelgangers. Not much to work with, but even still, they're going to see what they can make happen. Gatsy's the only one not involved. He's miles back. Still, it looks like Melez might be the first one they bump into here, but he just backs out. I guess he saw the Forge Spirit there, so you want to risk it. Watson's smoke even breaks just off to the other side of the trees. So unfortunately for Bait, their little gank attempt did not end up working out. Watson's just going to return to farm him. Hopefully get his Heart of Tarask online relatively soon. He's still about, what's that, 1900 gold away. So you probably have online at about the 27-minute mark. Meanwhile, Crit. He's got his BKB online now. Well, actually, he had it online in the previous fight. But he's almost got a S and Y fully completed. Just a couple of the small components left.
Generation. Death tax.
The Fake Grenade pretty damn strong on the Sven as well, actually. Oh, no. Melez drops the arena, but Nice Stalker there with the BKB, just pops that and walks straight through the walls. Evades it completely. Actually, the Young G jumping forwards. He gets the silence onto Dendy. Has a double damage on him as well. The Tombstone's already been dropped. Nagasi tried to stand his ground, but the damage from Young G's are so goddamn potent at this point. He's going to pop his BKB to try and stand his ground, but the Sonic Wave, he gets blocked there for disruption, is perfectly timed, and now there's a potential re-engagement here for Bait. The egg gets dropped off of the back lines, and that is going to enable the escape there from PuckChamp. And Bait lose a hero, don't gain anything out of that, but now actually they're thinking about going forwards yet again. The dive with the blink out of there, as well as the disco ball just gets dropped from Astral to allow the rest of the team to get themselves away. It's kind of crazy, right? How the disco ball gives 100 gold, meanwhile Tombstone gives like 200. It sort of seems like slightly imbalanced, does it not? I think the disco ball should probably be like 200 gold as well. Make it a little bit fairer. I mean, despite the fact that the Aegis is in the hands of Watson, they still just don't quite feel comfortable enough at just taking some big engagements. I only want to take a fight if they can actually get a pick off at the start themselves. I mean, nearly the Heart of Trask is about to be finished up here for Watson, though, after he gets these next couple of creep kills. Which is definitely going to increase his survivability. I mean, at the same time, SOY just got finished up there for the Sven as well. There's only a 1k gold separating the two of them as well. Well, it looks like PuckChamp pinging out the Night Stalker. Difficult kill to go for, though. Obviously, does have that BKB. You can just pop that and easily walk out with a lot of the engagement tools from PuckChamp. Watson ends up running straight into Young G, but doesn't want to end up taking that fight. I guess he just didn't know what other members of PuckChamp were lurking around the corner. Oh, the jump forward there for Crit. Gets the stun onto the Shadow Demon, trying to get the grab, but unfortunately the full staff there from Dendy gives him safety. Meanwhile, the Essence can get re-engaged. The Disco Ball trying to make some space. Literally keeps the Night Stalker and Dendy at bay, but Astral still going to get ran down from this. Ducalis dives away. Gatsa, wrong place, wrong time. Crit just focuses him down. The BKB is going to allow him to just TP away. But still, Watson, he wants to find something else after this. Ducalis will get grabbed. Going to drop his egg to try and get the re-engage. The Menace jumps in there with the arena. The egg still gets the lead, though. Not going to keep it alive. The Sonic Wave doing a lot of damage, but even still, it looks like they're not going to get the grab on something else. Menace just goes for the BKB TP out as well. So, I mean, they dump all of their ultimates to try and save the egg or make some sort of counterplay happen. But unfortunately, all just sort of came out of the wrong order. Maybe if the Mars re-engaged first, and then they could have gone for like a big counterplay. And then the egg gets popped, like take some of the focus away from it. Who knows? It could have gone that way. But even still, it's not like a terrible engagement there for Bait. We're actually Dendy. He's on top of Melees right now. Obviously, no one else is really available to help get that kill. Now Watson going in for the Octarine core by the looks after he gets that Ether Lens. Just going to go for that Phantom Lance or Phantom Strike, whatever the hell it's called. What's Phantom Strike? It's Spirit Lance. Yeah, just going for the spam of that in the team fights. Obviously with the shard, it bounces around. It does a lot of work.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire are scanning for enemies.
But all 5 members of PuckChamp, though, gathered up at the top. Just want to guarantee they take this tier 1. Maybe a +1 if anyone was actually lurking in the area, but no one is. Actually, I say that, though. Maybe actually come back into it. Now they actually want to try and take a fight. The 4 staff's there. It allows Ducalis to get the dive out. And the BKB's already been used here from the Night Stalker. Still trying to get in there. Gets some kills on, like, the Couriers and Wards. But that is it. And everyone on the side of PuckChamp easily able to evade that gank. Well, it's now going to be the Night Stalker Ultimate on cooldown for 2 minutes. As well as his BKB sat on 6 seconds already. Oh, but Dendy, he's got caught here from the arena. No chance to get away from that one. Any tips? Any tips? Wow, they didn't. They've been tipping him all series. And yet they don't tip him then. Very interesting.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, they initiate onto the illusion, but little do they know. Everyone else is able to walk off to the side. Oh, Watson? Just flies straight past Crit, trying to bait out there with the illusion. The Crit beating into it. Oh, he didn't realize that was the real illusion. Now he's going to get turned on. There is actually a Shadow Blade on him. But Bait, they disengaged. They had no idea that every other member of PuckChamp was actually quite far away. If they committed, they might have been able to get that kill before any sort of response came in. I mean, mind you, actually, no, they wouldn't. They don't have any sort of instant disable lockdown. He would have just been able to pop BKB and potentially turned it around. Well, that is definitely a downside of Bait's lineup right now. Like, what stuns do they have? They got like a mini stun from the Night Stalker. And they've got Cold Snap. It's terrible. They're actually severely lacking in CC this game. Which could just be like the end decider factor of how this game's actually going to turn out. CC is always important, boys. Always important. Got to balance it out. Make sure you got some. Now Shiva, Orchid, BKB online for Young G. Pretty farmed Queen of Pain. And oh my god. Oh my god, look at Dendi. 9.7 thousand gold. This man is a support. He's a support. He's been outpaced already by Astral. Even the Night Stalker gets picked off. Alright, the mid and the off lane are both behind the opposing position 4 right now. It's a coddle. It's to be expected, but even still, Melez, he does actually get the arena grab here onto Watson, and they got the correct spear. He's locked in place with the Sonic Wave as well. Down he goes. Gone for 80 now, with no buyback. Oh, Roshan's about to spawn in 5 seconds with the illusion. Is it going to survive long enough? No, it's not. The illusion ticks out, so PuckChamp aren't even going to realise that that is up, but it doesn't matter. With the Godstrength rest, they're still just going to go up to the high ground instead. The Glyph is going to be there to delay this, but it's not going to be enough at all to deter PuckChamp to fall back. Another tip towards Dendi. Now it's going to lose their entire mid set of barracks. Down goes the melee. Ranged, Young G will finish it off. Everyone else will just fall back. And then they're going to go for Roshan now. They're picking it out. Obviously, I don't think they actually know if it's up or not, because it hadn't actually spawned when they were in there. But Young G actually diving in there on his own. Crit nearly wanted to follow up there, but decided against it. They're picking out the pit. Someone's like, go check this. As they could easily take it. I mean, they actually got a lot of their almost on cooldown. Actually, 7 seconds, 15, 30. Eggs up. So really, I think they probably could take it. But Roshan, they do scout it out. Aegis and Shard. Did that Sunstrike actually scout it? No, it didn't. The Sunstrike was too far off to the right. So I don't think Bait even have the knowledge that it's up now. Instead, Melez, with the initiation, he's found Dendi. And immediately the Night Stalker tries to go to the backlines, focusing onto the Phoenix if he can. Dendi's still alive for now, but it's only a matter of time before he dies. And there he goes. He will fall. Gatch also fall into Young G. Double kill for him. Zicalis gets pretty low, but he's able to pop the egg. Even the Disco Ball pulling in the Night Stalker. There's no escape for this man. He's going to fall. Crit was trying to follow down the PL, but he's just locking down onto the illusion. He's already flown back up into the fight. The Disco Ball's continually pulling him in. 3 buybacks from Bait. They want to try and turn this fight around if they can. PuckChamp, then you've got to be careful they don't overextend. All the spear pushes him through the middle of the trees. They don't have anything left. Melez is going for the BKB TP out, and everyone else on the side of PuckChamp is on full retreat. It looks like Ducalis will be the sacrifice. A bit more crit though. He actually, in the backlines, he gets the dieback there onto Gatcha. And he just goes into this and flies away. The buyback actually gets popped from Ducalis as well. So a massive trade of resources from both teams. 3 buybacks from Bait. 1 buyback from PuckChamp. Also a dieback actually there for Gatcha. So just more, further cementing the lead here for PuckChamp. But I mean, all their almost are now on cooldown. So there's the potential that Bait could maybe take a fight. They're a lot less reliant on their Ultimate cooldowns than what PuckChamp are. Oh, double damage bottom though. Crit is going to snap that up immediately. And with that, they could either go high ground or for the Roche. Depends on what it is that they want to prioritize right now. Actually, Young G took the double damage. Very interesting. But actually, the jump forwards, Melez always arena. It doesn't get a connection onto anybody. Watson trying to bait out this just illusions, but now actually completely faked, going in after the engagement. The Disco Balls can start pulling them in. But everyone's side of Bait just disengages, and it allows the members of PuckChamp to get out. But Watson's still just constantly poking into the backlines. Wants to find somebody if he can. Meanwhile, Crit in the backlines annihilates SA. Another buyback gets forced out. Watson's super low HP. He needs to be careful. He gets speared to the side. He's gone. 80 seconds in the hole. No buyback available for him. Now, what is PuckChamp going to do with this time? Are they going to go for the Roche? Are they going to go for the high ground? It looks like Roche will be the one on the ticket. And there's absolutely no way B8 can stop this from happening. When I say that, they're moving into the vicinity, but they really should just let this go. They have no way to combat this. Egg's now back off cooldown as well. Aegis gets given over towards to Young G. The Shard towards the Sven. Hammer now doing a Dispel. Is there any sort of items that he really cares about Dispel? I suppose there's Dendy's nothing. I thought he had a use. SA something? Actually, I think it dispels disruption. I believe. Does it? It might do. I don't know. But now 31k goal lead for PuckChamp. Even AC filling up some melees. Just going to further secure their survivability and offense capabilities. And it's literally just Watson who's up there on his own. But even still, he's 7,000 gold behind Crit. Even the opposing middle lane actually has more farm than him. It looks like they're actually picking out to go for the Night Stalker down bot. He has got his BKB. He's just going to go for the TP out. And there's no sort of Abyssal Blade yet online for Bait to try and actually secure that kill. He's able to get out of there. And our Bait are just going to feel way too afraid to even approach the edge of their base. They're now playing up against another Aegis in the hands of the Queen. 32,000 gold behind. Now Satanic just got finished up there as well. And Crit's doing pretty much the same build he did in that game number 1. Going in for the Swift Blink now. I mean, it works. No reason to change it up. I mean, he could even just completely ignore buyback at this point. It's not really essential. I don't think Bait are at the stage where they're like threatening to take some sort of big objectives in return. So Crit can definitely play a bit more greedily. And he's only 1,800 gold away. I mean, by the time he gets that, he'll probably lose a minute of the Aegis timer, though. So I'm not sure if they even need to bother waiting around for it. Looks like they will, though. One wipe just annihilates the entire creep wave. Very balanced. Glepnir online for Young G. That is an item you do not see very often in the hands of a Queen of Pain. I mean, I suppose it works. I love this item against PLs. Like, you just lock down every single one of them. Doesn't matter if it's the right target. Who cares? Just chuck it down. He's in there somewhere. There was also a Cypher Vice up online for Astral now. Ags Blink. Scythe for a position 4, who's got a tremendous more amount of gold than both the mid and off lane on the side of Bait. I'm surprised he hasn't just gone in for like a Dagon, sorry. Wait, he's not even had... Okay. I thought he didn't have basic boots things. I saw he just queued up the bots. I was like, I didn't see the Tranquils for some reason. I was like, what? He doesn't even have any types of boots? Oh no, he's got Tranquils. Man's not that crazy. He's not that crazy. Nullifier is coming up for the Night Stalker, though. Still 2,000 gold away. That's quite a chunk of money. They need to basically win a teamfight engagement before he's going to be able to get that item online. And even if he does, I suppose it's quite handy getting rid of the Aeon Disc for Ducalis. He is like the main person he's been focusing down each time. Apart from that, there's not really much else that the Nullifier is going to be doing. But Swiftblink now online for the Sven. They've still got the Aegis for another 45 seconds now. So they're not really made the best use out of the item. And it's not even like they're even considering pushing high ground. I don't know why. Why are they so scared? They've had Aegis for ages. They've got 37k gold advantage. Their position 4 has 5,000 gold more than their mid and off lane. Obviously, they don't quite know these numbers, but you've got to feel it in the game. You've got to just sort of like feel just how far behind Bait is. They're just paying so much respect to this team, which is fair enough, I suppose. They don't want to just throw away what lead they have. But I mean, there's very little that the Sven can do now to actually progress his farm even more. Like, this man already hits like a truck and he's hard to kill. It looks like Bait are actually going to try and go for some sort of aggressive smoke outside of their base, see what they can find. When they made their way to the secret shop, Watson actually just completely buying out for the Skadi. Oh, but Youngji found Dendi. Doesn't have any detection to get through the Ghost Walk, so they're going to be able to disengage. They even just dropped the Tombstone to give a little self a chance to disengage. But never mind, Gacha gets caught. SA gets caught as well. Okay. So they make this move. It allows the PL to get his Skadi, but it costs both his supports' lives. And the Shadow Demon does even have a buyback, gone for a full minute. And the Sven didn't even have to pop his God Strength for that one. I think it's just going to be Ancients secured for sure. Ancients? Mega, sorry. But even still, look how much respect PuckChamp are playing. They're 5 versus 4. They've got pretty much all of their ultimates, everything to use. And yet they're sharing themselves. An undying buyback. I think they're playing this game just a little bit too cautiously now.
Not so fast.
Like, I could understand if Bait had, like, a massive team for ultimate that they can swing this game around with, but they just don't. They really don't. Meta jumping in, tries to get the stun, but instead Watson's actually onto the correct Phoenix in the backlines here. He 4-staffs. He's probably going to be forced to pop his ultimate now because his illusion's just going to kill him. No, the dive away. He does manage to survive it. Meanwhile, though, Watson stuck into the trees. The spear connection, they do get the vision. But I don't think they've quite got the damage. Meanwhile, though, Crit is actually playing with a couple of members himself. Gets the kill onto the Night Stalker, securing that Godlike spree. Watson, though, still in this 1v4. He's slowly ticking down here. The Glepnir, as well as the spear. He can't escape. He's gone for a minute and a half. No buybacks. He brought out the Skadi. And now Dendi, he's probably going to get caught as well. Nice tornado. Delays the inevitable, it feels. And that it will. He's immediately going to buy back. I'm sure the Night Stalker's about to do it as well. As it's easily going to be Megas. And PuckChamp actually don't even care about securing Megas. Going straight in for the tier 4s now. As rightly they should. No PL for 70 seconds. Buyback from the Night Stalker is going to be there. And it looks like PuckChamp a little bit nervous about carrying push to the tier 4s. Instead they will now go for the Mega secure. The top has already been taken away. The Glyph's going to keep this alive for now. But there's only 4 heroes left. Up against the entirety of PuckChamp. It's a big ask. Once again, another jump forwards from Young G. The Solid Wave does so much damage and Crit. He just destroys them all. And that's it. That's game. GG is called. B8. They tap out. And again, it was just a complete stomping coming out here from PuckChamp, ending the game with a 56,000k gold advantage. Like, that is a ridiculous amount of money. They probably could have ended this game when they hit about the 30k, but they were just so cautious. I mean, fair enough to them. They did want to make sure that they won this one. It was basically down to a best of one, so they couldn't really afford to make any mistakes. Just for the sake of like an extra 10-15 minutes, they'll take that time to just guarantee the win. So well played to them. Very well-deserved victory. Bait just got schooled, really. And I don't want to point fingers here, but Dendi, man. Dendi, you're just not really doing anything. Like, he has a decent lane start again, but within, like, the first 15 minutes of the game, he's the bottom-farmed core, and he just can't regain his footing at all. He plays the game really selflessly at the start, which I think is the problem. He just needs to be a little bit more greedy, in all honesty. Unless he's, like, a hero which progresses off of just playing super aggressively across the map. But he just doesn't fall back and farm enough, which, yeah, it just ends up being a downside to him. Even still, you know, I'm not saying it's all his fault, but could have played better. Sorry, Dendi. I love you, man. you got to point out the flaws here. But even so, yeah, well played to PuckChamp taking that game. If you've enjoyed this series, please think about following me on my Twitch or my YouTube. Any help I get, I thoroughly appreciate. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.